Buen Camino! Some people think the Camino is a race, but take it from this little creature we found on the trail. You can travel at your own speed. Just be yourself. We left San Juan de Ortega, where the miracle of the light takes place, and less than 4 kilometers later, we pass Agés. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce it. Maybe it's just Agés. I don't know. But we're reminded that we have 518 kilometers to Santiago. This tells me that someone had bed bugs. Okay, I'm close enough. About 10 minutes past Agés, before the path crosses a creek, on the left is a simple one-arch bridge built by San Juan de Ortega. I told you he was committed to making this road better and safer for pilgrims like you and I. I don't think he built those, but whoever did, that's nice of him. And within half an hour, we arrive at Atapuerca. This is where the famous ancient human archaeological site is located, one of the most important in Europe. But when you're walking on the Camino, it's a long way off trail. You'll see plenty of signs pointing to it, but visiting it requires a serious detour. We decided to stay the night here since it's still more than 18 kilometers to Burgos. And just before bed, I find this praying mantis. I think I know what he's doing.
Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Yeah, I think he's got this covered. Good night.
It was a chilly, foggy morning when they left that day. Brett was walking in the middle of the road, stupidly.
We got a sore toe with some information there. When you climb to the top of the limestone ridge of the Atapuerca Massif, you reach a height where medieval pilgrims could, on a clear day, see just how vast and flat the Meseta really is. It was in the honeycomb-like caves within these mountains that archaeologists discovered some of the oldest human remains in Europe. Today, you mostly see the suburbs of Burgos, which I'm going to show you how to bypass here in a few moments. Of all the Caminos that we've walked, this is the only stretch where I can remember mosquitoes landing on us. They didn't on this day, but they did 2 years ago. I don't think bug spray is necessary, but I might have a solution for those flies that attacked us earlier, if I can find the right supplies in Burgos. At the top, you see something from the Jacobean pilgrimages, and it's roughly translated as, "Since the pilgrim surveyed the mountains of Navarra at Burgos and saw the vast fields of Spain, he has not enjoyed a view more beautiful than this." But this morning, our view is a bit foggy, but I'm pretty certain it will burn off and we'll have a pretty walk into Burgos.
And the sun comes up over the mountain, ready to burn this fog.
About an hour after Atapuerca, we arrive in Villalval. As you enter, you pass a dilapidated parish church on the right. And at the far end of town is a Roman well that still works after 2,000 years. Those Romans really knew how to build things to last. I mean, you've got Roman numerals, you've got Roman candles, you've got Roman noodles. Wait, okay, that's ramen noodles. Oh, you get the idea. Can you relate to this mural? He's only dreaming of home. And then when you're at home, you're dreaming of the Camino. Once I leave this village, I know that I have about 15 to 20 minutes before that important left-hand turn to make the river route into Burgos. Some of the key points are going over a highway. Start looking closely, and it's before the airport. Someone gave us this tip on our first Camino, and I'm so glad we did the river route. So you're going to get close to the highway, and you're going to go over the bridge, and that's when you need to start becoming acutely aware. So you walk on this part right here, or you can walk on that side, I don't know. Go over the bridge. And then it's going to be right before those buildings because you're going to walk down this path, that direction for the river route. This way you can bypass all that industrial area of Burgos, and it's a lot more of a beautiful walk. Even though the sign says to go that way, you take a left this way by the trash cans and through the building, and you head this way. So there's that white building. Then you finally see an arrow here to be able to take a right towards this basketball court. And just take that road going straight. And then after about 30 minutes of walking on that gravel road, you will see the airport fence, and there's the airport, and there's the ugly industry that you would have been walking through in Burgos. But no, you're watching this informative video, and you took the river route, but we're not at the river yet. All right, at the corner of the fence, you finally do see an arrow. All right, don't let this fool you. Don't think, oh, I'm going through the industrial area. We still have not gotten to the river path.
Transformers, robots in disguise.
The key village that you aim for and walk through is called Casaneras. In town, some yellow arrows say Rio, which means river. The fountain confused us a little bit because there were multiple arrows around. It's because there's not a straight way to cross over that street. You actually have to go to the left there, and you're trying to basically head straight this way. Just keep walking down this road and you'll see the occasional arrow. You pass by the cement plant on your left there, and on the right you will see more Camino iconography. Rio means river, and there's one of those Camino de Santiago signs. You get to a Y in the road, or some call it a T, but hopefully there'll be a sign that says Rio or river, and you take a left. And there's the river. You cross over it, then just keep the river to your right until you get pretty deeply into Burgos. I love the way they say that. Burgos. How do you say Burgos?
You have to say Burgos.
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 Burgos. It sounds so cool the way they say it.
Burgos. No
Burgos.
Burger King.
So then you follow this little path around to the right to be able to cross over the highway. So stay on this little walkway, and it will run parallel to the highway, taking you back towards the river, and then you'll go under the highway, keeping that river on the right. Stay confident when you're on that sidewalk walkway heading back towards the river, because it does lead there. Look at that. The path goes underneath the highway, underneath that bridge, and you're on that river route. Take me to the river. I love hearing the river in my right ear. After a few dirt paths, then you have this nice asphalt to walk all the way into Burgos. When it comes to the river route, the Briley guidebook recommends walking with a fellow pilgrim. Since this stretch passes through a city park, it can feel a bit isolated, especially if it's near twilight. That's really just a polite way of saying, if it's getting late, it's wise to have someone with you. And you have this pretty park to walk through. You finally arrive at this sculpture on your left, and then a monument to Diego Porcelos, the second Count of Castile. This is where you turn right and cross the bridge into the heart of Burgos, where many of the albergues are and most of the city's activity. From there you can reach the cathedral, or you can continue straight and cross the river later near the Evolution Museum and the fountain. Nearby you'll see a statue of El Cid pointing toward some of his key leaders. There's a lot to see here. You might remember in the movie The Way when the priest tells Tom to stay an extra day in Burgos. And why?
Ha!
Father Frank.
You're just getting to Burgos.
This very moment.
Listen, you gotta stay at least a day. Turn the cathedral. El Cid is buried there. The Chuck Heston film.
I was just as confused at first because I had never heard of El Cid. So Gina and I watched the Chuck Heston or Charlton Heston film. But on Amazon Prime, they also have 2 seasons of a modern El Cid series. And yes, it is dubbed in English. Unfortunately, they never made a 3rd season that it was clearly setting up. There's simply too much history and contemporary art here to do it justice in a short video. The cathedral alone can take hours. It's massive and beautiful and filled with detail. Pilgrims even get a half-price discount if you show your credentials. There's also a self-guided audio tour that can last nearly 3 hours, so bring your earbuds if you want to hear everything clearly on your phone. So Father Frank was right in the movie when he encouraged Tom to stay an extra day in Burgos. One Camino book I read listed so many things to see here, and I love how it summed it up. It said, if you decide to move here permanently, then these other things are worth seeing as well. That gives you an idea of just how much there is. We've seen the famous giant festival puppets here, nearly 2 stories tall, dancing through the streets. There are sculptures everywhere, and I mean everywhere. You'll want to take a lot of selfies here. Some sculpting was made of bronze, some made from trees and shrubbery. And right near the cathedral is where one of the scenes from The Way was filmed. The very first shot of Burgos in the movie is at the very top of the cathedral courtyard entrance. I think it would have looked cool if they had panned down and shown the whole thing, because the entrance is absolutely stunning. And then the characters are entering the courtyard and they see the cathedral. And then from them entering in, you just turn around and there's that magnificent, beautiful cathedral shot. And then they meet the priest and some friends in a restaurant or a bar. Let me show you where that's at. You face the cathedral from where you entered, and you look to the left, and you go this direction. You walk about 40 steps or so, and this is the key. You find this building that says Rincón de España, Rincón, R-I-N-C-O-N, de España. That is your number 1 clue, because you can see that in the movie. You can see that it says Rincón de España on it, but they did have cafeteria over the door. You can tell by the pipe there on the right-hand side of the door, but these are the doors they went into the restaurant and left their backpacks outside, and the backpack got stolen. And as they open this door and they're entering into the restaurant, you can see that it's the very same stained glass with the same patterns right in here. So we found the restaurant. I tried to chase the path of the boy whenever he stole the backpack, but I just could not keep up with it. And probably they did it at another location, I don't know, to be more confusing. But if you know, put it in the comments, because that would be an interesting little tidbit of information to find out. Now, Burgos is a great city to take a day off, but we're not going to. We're here, how long ago? 2 years ago.
2 years ago, and I was sick, so he got to hang around and I didn't.
Yeah, so I checked out all of Burgos, and I got to know it so well, I did not need Google Maps. But there is so much to see, so much great history, so much beauty here, great places to eat. So if you can, take your day off here.
Spend some time here.
We're out in the middle of the night looking for dinner like we live in Spain. Everyone in Spain eats late at night. That's what we're doing tonight.
There is truly so much to experience in this city. As to the climate, there's an old local proverb that says, 9 months of winter and 3 months of hell. Hopefully, you'll pass through during one of the shoulder seasons. Because once you leave Burgos, you enter the Meseta, a long stretch of open, flat terrain. We always jokingly called it Kansas, because every time we've driven through Kansas, it felt like an endless horizon. And honestly, after so much climbing, we don't mind the flat roads at all. What others sometimes describe with dread and apprehension, we've actually embraced and thoroughly enjoyed.
All right, now we started walking. Goodbye, beautiful cathedral in Burgos.
Even the walk out of town is candy for the eyes. There are plenty of places to pause and take pictures and admire the art along the way. We're not going very far today. On this particular Camino, we chose to take only one full rest day in León, and instead break our pilgrimage into many shorter stages. So today's journey is just a few kilometers. And on this side of town, there's a series of pilgrim silhouettes to keep you company as you walk. I call this one Mosaic Pilgrim, and this one's Mirror or Reflection Pilgrim, or it's Gina hiding from you Pilgrim. This is Dragon Pilgrim or Wrestling with Inner Demons Pilgrim, maybe?
This guy that's from Spain here just said, it's horrible, don't take photos of that. This one's a little better. It's kind of like the Muddy Pilgrim. It's textured.
I call this guy Moonbeam. And this says, you are the temple of God. So take care of those feet.
I don't know where I read it or someone told me that whenever they take a building out, they just seal it off with this kind of sealant here. And yeah, it's not too pretty, and you see it quite a bit as you walk the Camino.
Yeah, we had to touch it. It feels like a hard foam. It's also nice to see a bronzed tribute to Santo Domingo de la Calzada. You might remember him. He's the chicken church guy. He once wanted to become a monk, but he couldn't read and was considered too old to be trained, so instead he became a hermit and then dedicated his life to helping pilgrims. He built bridges and roads and hospitals, engineering feats that would serve travelers for centuries. And honestly, it worked out better for us that you built roads instead of learning to read Latin, and for that, sir, we thank you. And this one says, Altrea. We'll talk about the meaning of that in a future episode. This reminds me of another great Camino film called I'll Push You. There's something behind that wall in the background that I want to show you that's pretty interesting for those that love the movie The Way. As you leave Burgos, hey, I think I'm getting it. Burgos. Yeah, the University of Burgos will be on your left. Turn toward the university. I'll put the coordinates on the screen, and you'll find yourself standing at the spot where a scene from The Way was filmed. This is where Ishmael, the gypsy father, forces his son to carry Tom's backpack as punishment for stealing it. It's meant to represent the very edge of the city, and it runs parallel to the Camino behind that wall that I told you to take note of earlier. You can tell it's the same location because there's a distinctive knot in that tree, almost like a fingerprint, and the windows in the background line up perfectly. One of my favorite lines from the movie comes from this scene when Ishmael says, "Our children, they are the very best and the very worst of us." You can almost feel how that line sinks into Tom as he walks, thinking of his own son with every step. Unfortunately, the path itself is now locked, so you can't actually walk down it. But this is that location.
Okay, there was supposed to be inside of Hospital del Rey, which was inside the university, a statue of Santiago that has a pivoting arm that was used to bestow knighthood back in the day. So we talked to a professor. He says they might have it hidden somewhere. He doesn't know where it's at. And I think it was in the John Briley book. And he said it might be in the museum in Burgos, but he said he doesn't think that it's there. So if you're on the hunt, I already spent an hour for you. You don't have to look for it any longer. But if you do find it, put it in the comments. I've got to see a picture. And I need your face in that picture as well. And that was right by where the scene was where the gypsy son had to carry Tom's bag. Okay, this pilgrim with a pilgrim's hat, with a Camino shell, and also the Camino shell on the chest, looks like none other than, do you know him? I think it might be Jesus, maybe. So Jesus walked the Camino? Yes, he's with us always. You know the scripture about footprints in the sand? One set of footprints? That's not in the Bible.
Hey, we're so glad that you stayed with us this long. There's so much to see and do here in Burgos that it made for a bit of a longer video. Tonight we're stopping in Tardojos. If you enjoyed walking with us, please like, comment, share, subscribe, especially if you want to see whether Gina and I make it all the way to the ends of the earth. Well, at least to the ocean. In the next video, we visit more movie locations, plus a hidden cold water pool that most pilgrims don't even know exists. It's rumored to have miraculous properties, and you'll know exactly how to find it because you watched Our Strange Camino.
Hi.
Subscriber number 100 and number 101.
Yeah, I'm the one.
That's right. Always 100. And their names are Jack and Tom. That's easy to remember because those are main characters in the movie.
Buen Camino, my friends.